Hello, I'm Pat Obi, Professor of Finance at Purdue University, Calumet. This retirement planning animation helps you answer two key questions. The first is, how much should you have saved up when you retire, in this example, at age 67, to tide you over during your years of retirement? This amount is your retirement savings goal. The second question is, how much should you be saving each month during your work life in order to reach this retirement goal right here so you can look like a happy Superman? Starting out, you're looking at your current financial situation and wondering whether what you currently have in your retirement portfolio is sufficient. Your dream is to retire with enough to live well, a good home, a fancy ride, and your dream vacation. So you got to give a thought as to whether what you currently have is enough to buy you that retirement dream. Let's go to the professor and get some answers. Here you plan to retire at age 67. Based on your life expectancy, you believe you can live up to age 89. That gives you 22 years of retirement life. To maintain at least the same standard of living during retirement as you enjoyed during your best work life, you estimate your first year's annual retirement income to be $42,000. Now, it's wise to ensure that this amount is no less than 80% of your best work-life income. For example, say your best work-life income is $52,500 per year. 80% of that amount comes to $42,000. Going forward, you'll need to determine the annual income for each of the retirement years as laid out here. As you can see, these amounts are not the same from year to year. The reason is you have to account for inflation, as I now demonstrate. On spreadsheet, this is how the annual retirement incomes are calculated. First, you begin with $42,000, which is your projected first year's take-home income after retirement. Now remember that this amount, whatever it is in your case, has to be at least 80% of your best lifetime income in order to provide you with a comparable standard of living. So now then you ask yourself, how much would I need to earn in the second year so as to enjoy the same standard of living as I did in the first year? The answer to this lies in the rate of inflation. If we assume that the cost of living will rise by 2.75% per year on average, then all we need to do is to increase this $42,000 by that rate and then do that for each of the years that follow. As it turns out, 2.75% right up there is about the average long-term inflation rate for the United States, based on inflation data provided by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So I'm going to use that rate as an example, and any rate you choose to use right about this number should work just as well. So now, using that rate, we increase $42,000 in year one to $43,155 in year two of retirement, as I show right here. So this is really the compound value formula where you are kicking up $42,000 by 1 plus 2.75% to get $43,155. We then continue in that manner, increasing each year's expected income by the same average rate of 2.75% to get the following year's income until the last year of retirement, which in this example is when you have reached the age of 89, as I show down here. So now, you know how much you will need each year after you retire. The next question is, how much money should you have in your retirement portfolio, which may be your 401k, your IRA, or any combinations thereof? when you retire at age 67? How much money should you have right here, so that each year that portfolio is able to pay you these annual incomes that we have stipulated right here going forward? The simple answer is to add up all of these numbers and post the total right here. But that'll be too simple a math to do. Remember that beyond your age of retirement, the amount you would have accumulated will not be pulled out in one fell swoop. You're going to leave it in the mutual fund and simply take out what you need each year. Meanwhile, the remaining amount will continue to earn interest and dividends. So if we assume the mutual fund portfolio will earn an average rate of return of 3% per year, as I indicate right up there, which by the way is a reasonable assumption to make for a low-risk retirement portfolio, then we should discount each of these amounts from A to Z by that rate of 3% and then add them up. It's much easier done on spreadsheets. To do this, we use the net present value function, which I demonstrate as follows. So here you type equal NPV for net present value, open parenthesis. It prompts you for the rate. You click on this cell containing the rate of 3%. Then as you can see, you're going to have to put comma, and then it prompts you for the values, which actually would be the cash flows from the first up until the last. So we have a little bit of a disturbance here, but I'm going to kind of sneak into it from there. I click and hold and then highlight all of these annual cash flows right up there. All right, and then I close parenthesis, and that'll be the amount. So this is the all-important value that your portfolio should have when you retire at age 67, such that each year through your retirement years it'll provide you these annual incomes to live off of. To summarize, your intended retirement age is 67. The number of years during retirement is 22. In other words, between 67 and 89. Your annual income growth reflecting inflation rate is 2.75%. Your first year's retirement income is projected to be $42,000, and your average rate of return on your portfolio during your years of retirement is a conservative 3% per year. With that, we show that the value of your portfolio at the point of retirement when you hit 67 years of age is approximately $875,000. So is the $50,000 you currently have in your retirement portfolio enough? Well, let's go back to the professor and get some answers. So right now you have $50,000 and you're 40 years of age and you plan to work for another 27 years. And you're investing your money in a well-diversified stock portfolio which earns 7% per annum, and that's a pretty conservative estimate, so that's pretty realistic. With that, we can show that the future value of your $50,000 over 27 years at 7% is $310,693. As you can see, since your retirement goal is exactly $874,993, it means you still need to save up an additional $564,300. So that's a residual that you're going to have to work hard to catch up to. As you can see, what you currently have in your retirement savings is not enough to buy your retirement dream when you retire at age 67. So how much more do you then need to save up in order to meet your retirement goal? To get this very important answer, we go back to the professor. Again, you're 40 and you plan to work for another 27 years. And we've determined that you need to save up an additional $564,300. And given that you expect to earn 7% per year in your well-diversified stock mutual fund during your work life, we can calculate the fixed annual payment that you're supposed to be contributing into your retirement portfolio to be $7,576. In other words, $7,576 represents a fixed annuity payment or contribution, if you like, that you need to be making into your retirement portfolio every year for the next 27 years in order to build it up to $564,300. So if you take that $76 and divide it by 12, you'll get your monthly contribution of $631. So now you know, for the rest of your work life, and given the fact that you currently have $50,000 in your retirement kitty, you will need to make no less than $631 in total retirement contributions per month between now that you're 40 years of age and when you retire at age 67. So are you planning wisely for your retirement? The following interactive portal will guide you along. I'm Pat Obi, Professor of Finance, Purdue University, Calumet.